Jack Daniels at the Boxers Trainers Channel. And today, right, I'm really considering this as a no nonsense day. I normally come on and try to be jovial, you know what I'm saying? Keep it real and straight up and down, right, when it comes to the truth aspect of boxing, right? You get the truth from the Boxing Trainers Channel. I can't speak for none other podcasts, but I'm telling you what you get from the Boxers Trainers Channel. Jack Daniels of the Boxing Training Channel is the truth, right? So, that being said, so what we are really concerned about today in regards to the truth, um, Keyshawn Davis, right, had the audacity to actually talk down about Andy Cruz, especially Andy Cruz's win over Omar Salcido. Andy Cruz went into a tough fight with a lightweight in the same division adhesive, which would be Omar uh, Salcido, right? And he did a outstanding performance in his boxing skill, with his boxing skills on Omar Salcido. Now, it went the distance, as is expected, right? Because Omar Salcido is not a slouch by any stretch of the imagination. He's a competitor. He is ranked by the WBA number 5 and the WBC number 6, right? So he's a top 10 contender. And those fighters, right, put in the necessary work to be considered as good boxers, right? If they're not one of the best. Actually, I will take that back and say Omar Salcido is one of the best in the lightweight division, right? And that has a lot of curtains when it comes to his counterpart. In this case, Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz is a Olympic gold medalist, right? Um, he had an outstanding amateur career, right? And I believe this is one of the reasons why Keyshawn Davis is making mention in a hostile fashion toward Andy Cruz, because Andy Cruz whooped, heard me, whooped on Keyshawn Davis 4 times in the amateurs, right? And I'm quite sure that based on the verbiage that comes from Keyshawn Davis, he is still upset about that loss. Those losses, right? You know what I mean? And I kind of get it, but the fact of the matter is, it's boxing. Whether it's in the amateur or in the pros, it's boxing, right? You take your wins like you take your losses, right? They both come along with the game of boxing, right? So for Keyshawn Davis to take take shots overhead at um, Andy Cruz is contrary to boxing, man. And I'm personally taking offense to. And before we move forward, I want to play that tape for you so you can kind of hear what Keyshawn Davis had to say. Here we go. See, in this particular in that particular case, he didn't really want to talk about uh, uh, the things that he was saying about. Well, let me see if I can find that particular tape, because it was a really it was some really bad comments that Keyshawn Davis made towards Andy Cruz, right? And I'm not going to go into the particulars I'm trying to find. It was garbage in reference to the things that I feel were it was garbage. You know what I'm saying? The verbiage that Keyshawn Davis made mention of in reference to Andy Cruz was garbage, right? And it's kind of like it was really over the board, over the top when it came to respecting another boxer, right? Shout out to Blake, uh, and I just had to make mention of this because to me, right? When you get in an ambush in another boxer, right? And I will say, in defense of Andy Cruz is a respectful young professional, right? I've never seen Andy Cruz comment on a boxer negatively, right? And that's saying a lot about the class of the boxer, right? In retrospect, when we're looking at Andy Cruz versus somebody like Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis, you know what I'm saying, puts it out there, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if it's Andy Cruz or whoever it is, if he's an opponent, right? He's talking about bad about it. And I will say this, in my opinion, right? I don't think that Keyshawn Davis has gotten that professionally advanced in his boxing skills that he can talk about or think that he can downgrade and Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz is a consummate professional, and he good with his hands, right? He proved that when he whooped Saucedo. So I'm just making mention of this because I would like for boxing to have a positive disposition about itself instead of all this degrading garbage that comes out of a lot of these cats' mind. And that's one thing I will make mention about Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney is the type that he doesn't do a lot of talking, right? He doesn't do a lot of talking about the next man unless it's to his face and it's about let's make the fight, right? Devin Haney is the type that does more with his hand than he does with his mouth when it comes to an opponent, right? And I think that that is the position of a consummate professional, a consummate professional athlete, right? He uses his skills to do all the talking, and that's what it's about when it comes to boxing. I think. I mean, that's in the days that I boxed. That's what it was about. All that backs and forths and whooping and oh man, come on, do that with your in a ring with your hand. Get a fight made. This pertains to you. Shout out to Yasser Hassan. This pertains to Andy Cruz. Get a life, right? And get in the ring with somebody like Devin Haney and prove your point that you're that good. All right. And stop bashing Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz is a hell of a boxer. That being said, hit that subscription button, hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comments section and let me know what y'all think about the atmosphere of boxing today as it pertains to somebody like Keyshawn Davis. Right? And share the videos with your friends and relatives. That being said, I got to go.